JessTalk and LisaListen. Conversations, here we are. We're going to have an unbelievable conversation today. We have a very special guest in the studio with us. It is LisaListen, and it is Bryce. Bryce, you're awesome. You know that, right?
Oh, thanks.
Are you feeling fine?
That's really nice to hear today.
You ready for a cool conversation?
I am ready.
Because you're a cool cat.
Yes, especially on a day like today. I'm definitely trying to find the coolness factor. Absolutely.
Right. Well, you have it because you see our logo on the screen here.
I love it.
And you see the beautiful colors?
Yeah.
You happen to have your shoes, as the brothers would say, stomps. S-T-O-M-P-S.
I do.
Matching the logo. Show the logo. Show those logo shoes. These are logo shoes.
What's the brand?
They look
Bryce?
expensive.
These are Prada.
Wow.
These are Prada.
So you're trying to get sexy on this.
Prada. Yes. I'm. You know what? I think a lot of times when you dress for the day, you have to have one little bit of inspiration. And I tried on some gray drivers before these, and they were too dark, so I had to lighten it up.
I think you hooked this up because it's an exact match with our logo.
I do kind of blend.
And you blending.
It's a flow.
I did that on purpose.
So,
I do have a stylist, so no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'll bet he does.
Yeah.
Now, Lisa, you've known this guy for a long time. He's got great magic, right?
I love this man.
Let's do a couple not shout outs, but let's do a couple trending things, and we're going to jump right into the Bryce program. How about this EDC thing? What do you doing it? It's in Las Vegas. It's happening this weekend.
We're going to do it, yes.
I think you guys need to go. I mean, if we're talking about happiness, then you can't get any happier than the Electric Daisy Carnival.
Oh, I love this.
Because it's, 100,000+ people descending on the Speedway.
Wow.
Everybody's agenda is to just love and care and drop all. I think one of the hashtags on one of the Instagrams was spread peace or come in peace or don't come at all.
Oh, I love that.
So I think the whole point of what the mission they have is to obviously feel free. So there's no judgment. And that's kind of what you sort of want in life anyway. It's like a big giant kindergarten. I say we all dress up because I am going.
I don't even think Bryce said that's a sort of campaign. I think it's an automatic, intentional campaign.
Yeah,
we want to get to a place where there's absolutely zero judgment.
Yes.
If at all possible.
Yes.
And it is possible.
Yes,
so
it
it's concerts like this and programs like this that give us that opportunity to do these sort of things. So I love it. So EDC is happening, and you're going to be happening with it.
And we may be happening with it, and I hope you guys can come on the last night. We'll try to figure that out. So we'll talk after this program.
Okay,
so
wonderful.
We can't figure that out.
I love that you talked him into it, and it wasn't even twisting his arm or anything, Bryce.
He looked me in the eye and said, "You're going."
Or did you twist his arm prior to
I might
this?
have. No, you know what? I think you would have a great time.
I'm looking forward to it. So we can make that happen. We will.
I hope so.
But the other trendy news is Michael Oher. Did you see the movie Blindside?
I did. Yes.
What did you like best about Blindside? Lisa, you first.
First of all, Sandra Bullock is just beautiful.
Phenomenal.
She was so relatable and adorable, and
I thought Tim McGraw was pretty awesome.
I didn't even know that was Tim McGraw.
Yes.
I didn't either until
he killed
after.
it. He killed it.
But the way she took him in and just he was one of her own. Being a mother, I could so relate to her role. It was just really, really touching to me.
Very cool. What did you like best about it?
Just the fact that it's a true story. I mean, when you come off of Hollywood, glamorizing something, it probably stayed very true to how it really happened. And that's, for when you're watching something as moving as something like that, it's wonderful to know that when you have support, like someone that was her character, then you can do anything. And that's the message anybody should take from a movie like that.
I truly dig everything you're saying, and Lisa as well. And I have to tell you, my favorite part, there was so many favorite parts, really. It's really kind of hard to pick one. But one of my favorite parts that made me the happiest, since we're going to be talking about our happy meters, was my super favorite part in the movie was gotta have a proper hug.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Got to have a proper hug.
Yeah.
That's embracing, that's engagement, that's connection. That means no matter what's going on, it could be, the roof could be falling down, but you're going to give me a proper hug.
Right.
That's a whole nother show.
It is a whole nother show.
Right?
With Mike.
It's not that side thing, it's that heart-to-heart thing.
It's that rest your head on the shoulder.
Yeah.
It's really give, because people, hey, let's face it, people don't get those.
No, they don't. And with Big Mike, the character, he didn't like being called Big Mike, even though he was really huge. It didn't leave him feeling good. And so Sandra said, okay, you're going to be Michael from now on.
Yeah.
And just their whole character, the guidelines and the smoothness that they brought together and the energy, you'd be very surprised that Michael Oher today, who's in the NFL, very highly accomplished football player, and also he's won a Super Bowl, if not more than one. I know one for sure.
Yeah.
Do you know that what's trendy now is he's unhappy. He's sick and tired of the movie Blindside. And
it's ruined his life.
He said, I couldn't believe it.
Oh, boy.
here's what I'm going to have to say to you. Well, first off, what are your thoughts about hearing that right here on the live program?
Well, if ever anyone wanted to make a movie about my life, I wouldn't be unhappy.
Thank you.
Exactly what we said.
Give me some.
I just want to figure out who'd play me.
No.
Jude Law.
No.
I don't know.
Right.
You know who's going to play me, don't you?
Denzel.
Oh, come on.
But he's
He's
a little
good.
a little older now. You know,
He is, but he's still pretty hot. He's still pretty hot.
He's hot.
So I want Denzel or Louis Gossett Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Because Louis
He's
is
a little older, though.
He is, but dude is suave and
see, you age well, honey.
And he
I
wrote
like
the
that.
foreword to his book.
Louis
So-
Gossett Jr. And he's a man among men.
Yeah. If you find the right person with the right character to play the character,
Right.
not
Yes.
only just that, then it absolutely embraces what message you're trying to share.
I totally dig that. Lisa,
Yeah.
before we get to you, we have someone in the chat room. I want to come back. I want you to be thinking about who's going to play Lisa in the movie.
Oh, wow.
Because you make a good point.
Okay.
Make a movie about my life, and I'm going to be upset about that because it grossed $300 million in the movies. I don't
Right.
think so.
Yeah.
So, Eric, Mr. Chatman, what do we have in the chat room?
Listen, you're talking about having Bryce hit his own movie. We've got an instant chat room here. You've got a big fan here, Bryce. It says, love Bryce. I was at the DW Bistro on Tuesday. We talked about the importance of manifesting what we want in life. How do you do that? So here's your first act in the movie.
Wow. Go,
And
Bryce.
it doesn't say who it's from?
No.
It's from Ruth Furman.
Oh, okay.
Go, Ruth.
Well, I have to go back to what happened today because Lisa and I met earlier today over coffee to start the day out, and I believe that you have to start, as you said, the night before, but also start your day with sort of a theme.
Yes.
A theme song, if you will, like something that gets your blood going and get you
Love
excited.
that. Love
like
it.
today's song was "Ain't No Stopping Us Now."
Right.
One of my favorites.
But
that was
Bryce,
on Studio 54 Radio.
You're getting ahead of yourself. Let's tell the people. You had a beautiful speaking engagement just recently at DW Bistro, and you were asking questions to the audience, and you came around to me, and you were asking in this engagement, how do you start your day?
Right.
And I said the night before.
Right.
You take it from there. So
No,
our
I mean,
listeners know.
that really hit home with you. He was in the front row.
Yeah.
Chewing gum fast.
no.
I'm like, no. I was like, go on, Bryce. Go ahead.
He was going to be the comedian call it the thrower in the audience.
The heckler.
There we go. But no, you taught me that valuable lesson the night before, and I had to I had to literally manifest for a goal that we needed at the restaurant.
Okay.
I needed to raise $200,000 today.
Wow.
I mean, it's
and did
over
you do
time. I raised $240,000 today.
Wait a minute.
We need
you
a round of
should've
applause
just
for
in
that,
the
ladies.
waiting room and you said it was 300,000.
I think it's 3 by the time every contract goes out. But I don't want to count my eggs before they hatch.
But is this the time to do a blow up? Do we bump and blow up on this one?
We do.
Bump and blow up.
Bump and blow. You have to set a manifest and intention for the day, and then surround yourself with the people who are helping you get there. And literally, our first meeting this morning, which was over coffee, today, to get you on that and stay on that bright train, as you call it, you've got to do that, because that's the only way that you can look back in your day. Even if you don't make the goal, you can put it to the next day, and you have this mindset in order to do it. You don't. I feel like again, we got to the universe.
Mm-hmm.
The universe will conspire to do it for you,
or not if you don't want it. If you don't show that you want it. And check this
Right.
out. So, listeners, here's the thing. What Bryce is telling us is that if you really want it, you can go and get it. The first way you go and get it is with your thoughts. So what you think about and think about, you bring about. So if you have a problem and a challenge or some sort of a dilemma of some type, what you want to do is the night before you, as you lay your head on that pillow, throw it up to your subconscious mind and say, please help me resolve this matter. I'm looking for the answer to how do I raise $250,000 or $270,000, whatever the number is.
Right.
And throw it up there and go to sleep.
Right.
Your subconscious mind will actually go to work on that and bring you solutions first thing in the morning.
Oh, yeah. And what happened this morning, it's those, my partner just called it a light switch moment. Because we always talk about light bulb, and light bulbs just magically go on.
Light bulb moment.
You just turn on a switch. And I think that made a difference for my thought. And I was in the shower, and I had a light switch moment of thinking, it was one thing, it was something to do with a contract and how to make something else work in the thought process of how I needed to raise this money. And again, this goes back, 2 years to lead up to this day.
For sure.
When you're always focusing on what you want to intend, you're still living in the residual of your life, the choices you made the day before.
That's right.
And so my day today was 2 years in the making to get to this day.
With intention.
With intention. Because the people that I asked were people that already knew my mission, and the universe brought them to me today because
you were ready.
I was ready for them.
And you are actually
That's
one
what the
that
luck
has
is.
practiced learning to ask, because you are a big giver.
Yes.
A lot of big
that is
givers,
true.
and you serve a lot of people. You typically ask last. Now you said, I better ask first, or I'm not going to get this goal. So I really like that. I think that's really, really powerful. And I think our audience needs to know you have to ask. You have to ask for what you want, and then you have to go and get it. Throw it up to the subconscious mind. And by the way, there's a book that's going to help you with that too, called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. That's a great book, because even though you don't believe, if you do not believe what we're saying here on our podcast here, go and get the book for $7 at Barnes & Noble, or get it on
Amazon.
Get it on Amazon for probably less than $3.
Right.
And The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, I guarantee you won't be able to put that book down. For sure. But let's get you announced properly here. Here's what I have here. I got some cool stuff here. It says here, what would it take to make you happy? This is, what do you really want? It's time to incite, inspire, and ignite the passion you have. This is Bryce Krausman at his finest. You've done some incredible things. DW Bistro is incredible. The food business is a brutal, difficult business to be in. You've also got house seats. What else, Lise?
Talk about your latest.
Why we're raising money?
Yes.
For the Gramercy.
We're doing, so not only the restaurant, I think I'm a glutton for punishment, you're in the same business. We're opening a market, like a high-end grab-and-go gourmet shop in the Gramercy, which is off of the 215 in Russell, and it's the DW Kitchen Market. So what we love about that is, it is a culmination of, my partner in the restaurant, Dalton Wilson. He's the DW.
He's pretty bad to the bone himself.
Bad to the bone.
And a lot of people think the D and the W has something to do with you and him, but tell them the meaning of DW.
DW Bistro. So DW means dining with. So the idea and the concept of who we are is like, when you're in the restaurant, you're dining with so-and-so, you're dining with your spouse, you're dining with a friend, you're dining with work acquaintances.
I never knew that.
That's what that means. Also, a friend of mine taught me that it has another meaning. So if you look at DWB or DW Bistro, like the letters DWB, is Dalton with Bryce.
Oh, I like
Isn't that cool?
So it's like a triple entendre.
I love that.
But it's also Dalton's initials, Dalton Wilson, and he is the chef.
You know what it also is for me? I've been in your restaurant more than once. I don't get a minority discount, but I'll be asking the next time I'm there. I'll be asking for the minority discount. Listen, I don't want to take anything from the till and the cash register and all that stuff, but the brother's going to ask for a minority discount. But DW for me stands for doing it well.
Okay.
Because I've never been to your restaurant when it wasn't done well.
Thank you.
And I mean that.
First class.
And this is a brother from another mother. So, like, we know how to do fried chicken.
Yeah.
So you can't, I'm just saying.
Fried chicken and waffles.
I'm judging you against mommy and daddy stuff. Because Jesse Farrell Sr. can burn up some fried chicken.
Yeah,
I'd have him come and sit. I'd have him come and sit with you for a minute.
I'll come over.
So let's talk about you, Bryce. Talk to us about this whole happiness campaign. Tell us a little bit more about it. Let's bite into that.
I think it starts with the instructor first, and I think that's what came about 2 weeks ago when we did the class at the restaurant. Was I was in a place, and I used to speak this language on a regular basis. I was in businesses before DW and with house seats where I needed that daily inspiration because I'm an entrepreneur. I have to find that drive. I have to find that wake up in the morning.
I think you're an entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur.
Entrepreneurs do a whole bunch of things on top of it. But for fournir.
Is that a French word?
Je ne sais quoi.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah.
No parlez-vous français. No parlez-vous français.
I make up fake French.
Yeah. I'm bad at it. But I think you're an entrepreneur with an entrepreneur layer over the top of that, because you like for people to have fun and have a good time. That's why you came up with this whole happy campaign, right? Where did that come from?
I think it's a culmination of all the great speakers I've heard.
Okay.
The Jack Canfields I've met in person, the John Maxwells. Rita Davenport is somebody that's sort of an unknown but awesome speaker. And hearing people do their speaking engagements and realizing they inspire people on stage, and then what do you do after? You sort of have to figure out that surrounding of people who keep that fire going. Because let's face it, every time we go hear a speaker or go to an event, we go meet up with the people in our life that sort of oh, that doesn't work. That stuff's, for, whatever purpose.
It's
and
true.
So you feel let down by, these people you go speak to, because you don't come home and have that same self-talk, or your spouse doesn't share that same way.
Or it dispenses. It dispenses over the time. Like if you go on a Thursday or a Friday, by the weekend, you don't even remember. On the
light's been burned out.
Exactly. Yeah. By the start of the early next week, because you're talking 2 or 3 days later, you're not even thinking about it. So really what matters is not about what happens to you in life. It matters about what you do about what happens to you. So when you, to that point, Lisa and I went to watch Bryce speak, and I'm telling you, if you've never had an opportunity to hear him speak, and when you hear where he's speaking next, you really want to figure that out, because I'm going to tell you something. It's incredible. What we walked away with, when you come to listen to a speaker like a Bryce Krausman, you want to go there with an open slate, an open mind, and don't come there with your already always listening mind. What that means is you feel like you already know. You already know what he's going to say. You've already heard that story. You've already been around. Don't have the already always listening mind. What you want to do is you want to clear the slate and be open for one single thing that may hit the plate.
Yeah.
The one thing that hit the plate for me, at least I want you to weigh in on this, I'm going to say was Bryce's theory on Song of the Day. Take it. Tell me your thoughts on that. Well, it was brilliant.
It's what we've taken and ran with, and I'm like, what a great concept. And like you said, your song of the day today was Ain't No Stopping Us Now. Yeah. There's music that he's never played for me in my life. I'm like, where did you find that? He said, well, I listed the top 10. And I'm like, I like it. I like it a lot.
Well, the funny thing is, music runs in my family. We have some pretty serious musicians. I have an Uncle Jesse in my family. Almost all the boys are named Jesse. There's like 8 or 9 Jessies.
Okay.
Like black women.
Easy,
sometimes black women have a hard time coming with names. I just name them Jesse. So at a picnic, when we're all there, they say, Jesse, pick up that pacer. No, 8 or 9 Negroes bend over and almost bump heads because we don't know which one you're talking about. But anyway, with that being said, no, it's really silly. With that being said, music runs in our family. My Uncle Jesse used to play lead guitar with B.B. King.
Oh, wow.
No, it's some good. We have, and so I had sort of almost forgotten about music until you said that. Not as in we don't listen to music, but the importance of it.
Right.
So we took on your challenge to pick a song a day, and Lisa and I have been doing that ever since. And then we designed a game called Dialogue.
Okay.
Lisa's much more of a succinct speaker, so explain to Bryce the game Dialogue that we designed based on his concept.
Okay.
So he said, let's play this game and pull up your favorite song. We'll rate the song and we'll rate the story. And that's how it started.
Okay.
And I wanted to build upon it. And I said, if you guess the artist and you get the name of the song, and then let's type a little bit, 1 or 2 sentences about the story. So when we go back and look at the score, the story is there and we don't forget it.
Oh, okay.
And it's all based on a 5-star rating system, Bryce. So you get 2.5 points if you guess the artist.
Okay.
You get another 2.5 points if you guess the song. So that's 5. When Lisa plays her song, then I rate the quality of that song for me. Okay. Oh, I love that song. Let's say she plays Sarah Smile. Okay, that's Daryl Hall and John Oates. Oh, that's a 5.
That's before his time.
I know that music. I know that music. I was raised
so that's a 5 for me.
Yeah.
Then she tells a story. She says something in her childhood that when that song played, she was always and she was always leaping to new heights, or something emotionally happened for her. When she tells that emotional story, then I rate the quality of that story on a scale of 1 to 5. Then it switches back, and I flip it around. So you play 3 rounds of that, and look at the score at the bottom of that to see who wins. But you know what? It's not a matter of who wins. It's such a happy, fun place when you connect music with emotion, with good memories. What happened for you, Lisa? What did you like best about that game because of Bryce?
Well, if it weren't for you, it wouldn't have sparked the interest in him to build that game. But I really liked that we would never talk about the things that sparked the memory in the song ever. And I took it further and played it with Asia, my daughter. And there was a time in high school where I was working all the time, and she was busy with high school and presidency and swim captain and all these other things. I didn't know her then, and so we played it on our drive to California, and I learned more about her on that drive to California that I never would have thought to ask her.
Yeah,
because I couldn't relive that memory with her.
Right.
But the song brought it right back.
Music tells stories.
How does that leave you feeling that we created a game called Dialogue from one thing
I want
that
the rules to this game. I want to play it every day. No, it really does. And you know, to go back on the trends about EDC, the reason why a lot of that music, electric music, or even, and I like the fact that they call it electric music because it electrifies you inside. There are certain artists that I like because they literally will change the frequency of your body.
Yeah. It is a frequency change.
I already got chills from that. You literally, you realize the power behind music. I mean, they use it in therapy, they use it in all kinds of ways, but for you, you know, the technology we have today of creating the playlist on your phone.
Yes.
And literally
with Spotify,
or
1,000 songs in your pocket.
Exactly.
That was Steve Jobs' ideal, was 1,000 songs in your pocket.
Right. They can literally make the difference in how your day goes. So when we were talking about it, it's also pulled from one of my favorite shows back in the day was Ally McBeal.
Yes.
And it was always her being goofy.
Yes.
Because I loved the thing about the show was it was sort of interactive.
Yes.
And it was still a storyline, but it wasn't reality TV as we know today. It was her, you know, crossing the street and doing a dance to a Barry White song.
So
then you're in your house, sometimes dancing around in your underwear getting ready for work. And I've been known to dance around to certain songs like that back in the day.
You know what's so cool about it is it strikes an emotion.
Yes, it does.
It strikes a feeling. And what happens is, from our concept, how you leave them feeling, it's so live and well. And you brought such magic to that because of that one offering where you told us about the song of the day and that you do it all the time. And you and your partner, it's huge in your world. And it became super huge in our world. And that whole concept of how you leave them feeling, when you tie music and emotion and real life and memories, that's the whole point of life, is to be able to create that. Yeah, it is. Yeah. You have another acronym that I want to switch over to, ROMG. Talk to us about that.
ROMG is brought to you by my friend Michael, who is a reminder of my greatness. Wanting friends and people around you. Again, it's very important that, you know, your entourage, as the movie calls it now, the people that you surround yourself.
By the way.
Never seen it. Don't even know anything about the show. Just know that the people that you surround yourself with better raise the level of your frequency in your life. Better be a part of that same bright train that you need to be on every day, because it makes it, you know, it's the rule of thumb, right? Is that whoever you surround yourself with is who you become.
I so love that. When in the book How You Leave Them Feeling, there's a quote that says, and Cher Weldon Jones was the one that was that I would credit for creating the quote, because it was just a statement for me. But she says, wait a minute, no, that's a big statement.
Yes.
She says, where'd you get that from? Well, I didn't get it from anywhere. She says, no, you have to understand that's powerful. And what it says is, be careful of the company that you keep, because your quality of life depends on it.
That is absolutely accurate.
And that's what you're saying. Your quality of your life depends on the people you surround yourself with.
Absolutely.
And you become what you surround yourself with.
Yeah. It is critical, and I can't stress that enough with people, because in today's world where you have virtual friends, Instagram friends, Facebook friends, Snapchat friends, I don't even know what else will come out by the time. Periscope, which is cool. Periscope friends, you know, all of these things. You're looking at all of that technology, and really, I saw somebody post the other day, it was this whole joke about selfies and the selfie stick, right? This person said, you know what, here's something new. Get a friend. A friend doesn't cost money. A friend, you know, who can take your pictures, and they might have a better angle than you need to do whatever. I don't own a selfie stick. I don't even know how to do a proper selfie, because I want something. And we did that today.
Yeah, we did.
Like, we don't need to do a selfie. Let somebody take the photo of us. Because that's the point. The connection with people, but
connection
also
is huge.
Yeah, but also when you are with those people, it is imperative that they are people that lift you up. Or if you want to talk to them and vent, it's still in a way that uplifts you, and you have a solution at the end of it, versus gossip or at least
solution-based thinking.
Absolutely.
It's not the solution.
Absolutely.
So what would it take to make you happy? What does it take to make Bryce happy?
Happiness is a choice.
Oh, I love that.
And
can you get a
let me get an amen over here.
An amen.
Happiness is a choice, just like fear is a choice.
Yep.
You know, my mom, every time I leave her house, she always says, be happy. That's the last thing she says to me every time. Not always I love you or whatever. It's be happy, because honestly, it's a choice. It's a choice for you to wake up and be happy and meet the day in a way where it might not be the greatest morning or the greatest series of events, but it's how you view your day. I mean,
regardless of life circumstances.
Exactly. And today was a prime example. Like, it's either surrender, knowing I'm not going to make my goal, or I can just well, if I make it, I do. If I don't, I'm going to figure out a way.
But why do you think?
I'll make it tomorrow.
But Lisa and Bryce, why do you think most people? At least you answer this first, and we'll roll it to Bryce. Why do you think most people live unhappy lives? Primarily.
I think it's
if in fact that's true.
I think it's training. People are taught, you know, when you're born, you're not taught fear. People learn fear by people telling them, ooh, you can't do that, and which brings limitations on in our life.
False limiting beliefs.
And so then people start living from a place of lack instead of living from being grateful for what they have. Because if you live from what you have every day and you're grateful, your life is going to be much more enriched.
Gratitude is huge. Lisa's right on, and I also believe it's in the early training, because when you first come out, you got a blank canvas.
Yes.
And then people start throwing a bunch of muck on that canvas, and if you're not able to shake that stuff off and shed those blemishes on the canvas, you live with that. You're not really stuck with it, but you feel like you are. So to Lisa's point, what is the first word that most two-year-olds learn to use and they say often? No.
There you go.
Lisa's point is right on. No. Because
And
we've told them that 100,000 times, and they finally get that, and then they want to exert their right to say no. So that's the first thing we teach them.
Yeah.
No, don't stand on that. You'll hurt yourself. Oh no, don't do that. You're gonna fall. Oh no, don't put that in your mouth.
Don't. Yeah. The negative connotation of a word like don't.
Right.
Don't tell them to do this. Don't do this. Don't do that. And so you literally think the whole life you're going through with a don't. When you're like, do that. Try this. Be that, whatever you want to be. I mean, the supportive nature. But also, when you think about ROMG and you don't have friends right now, I'm sure that's a question somebody might have in their head, because I just thought about this too, is that you might not have people around you who do that.
Yeah.
And doesn't mean you need to go out and grab somebody. But I think if you have, and to get on the point of when you're on the happiness trail is when you're doing what it is that you want in your life.
And you doing what you love, and you love what you do.
Exactly.
Because you tie to your best purpose, meaning your best gifts and talents, what typically is your purpose, why you're uniquely here on this earth. And you do that. You can do that tirelessly. There's so much energy that comes when you do that.
Exactly.
Like what you do. All the things you get involved in.
Even what we're doing right
things.
now. I mean, this is like exactly the same thing. It's like this is just when it becomes commonplace language and you replace the talk that you've been taught.
I agree.
Then it goes, like you're saying, the flow, like we talked about, is, you know, that in Finding Nemo, the flow, the Australian current. When you get on the flow, you don't even veer to the left or right with your thought process.
100% right on the flow. There's a book called Flow by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi.
Okay.
And Mihai Csikszentmihalyi talks about creating an optimal experience in your life.
Yep.
Especially for the things that you least want to do, like clean the garage, wash the dishes. When you create a flow in your life, time just falls off the clock. You're not even connected to it.
Yeah.
So I like that. So how do you find happiness for you?
I have to make it a choice. And I think when you wake up, the number one is all about the start to your day. I think a lot of times you stub your toe out of bed kind of thing or whatever. It's how you view it. Because the last couple of years leading up to wanting to do the event a couple weeks ago was mostly for me is I was taking care of everybody else's needs and not my own. Not putting my oxygen mask on first.
I like it.
And what you talked about, you know, before we were on this, is that the word selfish is more replaced with self-care.
Yes.
Am I taking care of myself?
Correct.
And that is the difference, I think, for a lot of people, because they're doing and doing and doing. And the reminder is, oh, right, I needed to do this for me first before I could do that for someone else.
Absolutely, because the better shape
I need to practice what I preach before I give to someone else.
Well, because you can give better to someone else when you're taking care of yourself and you have a holistic approach of balancing mental, spiritual, physical, emotional, and financial balancing. You can give far more of yourself to those people you're looking to serve. If you serve everybody else first and you're depleted, you're serving from I think, more of a negative space than a positive space. Lisa, you were going to make a point?
Because if Bryce ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
Ain't no one happy.
Exactly. So as we close down for the last few minutes of the program, what would you tell the people listening to this podcast about, other than the fact the first place is choice, what else do we give them to create a better happy meter, sustainable happiness in their life?
Tools. Definitely,
I love that.
You need tools. You need books. You need music. You need movies, absolutely, and you need to visit events. If you don't, go to church or someplace that is uplifting frequency, you need to seek out an environment that will uplift you. EDC. You can come to one of our events.
I love that. I love that. And don't you think it's to capitalize on your life experiences as well?
Absolutely. And I never thought about that before until people realize when you have to step back and look at your life and how it can uplift and inspire someone else. Then you make the change to be like, got it.
Exactly.
I will help you. I will help you. I will be that ROMG for you if you need me to be.
I love the ROMG theory. It's hard to say, but it's a good piece.
Yeah. Well, it's like OMG, but you had an R.
Oh, see, why didn't you teach me that before we came on to this?
Light switch moments. Light switches.
So, at the close of this, we want to say, where can people find you? How can people get more? Because this inspirational speaking path that you're on, you know, this is going to far outweigh anything you've done with House Seats, anything you've done with DW, anything else that you've done, because you're going to help so many people with the power of the word, your word and your story. Where can they find you?
That's awesome. Well, you can find me on Sunday brunches at DW with an iPad, helping you get a table on Sunday, usually. But yeah, BryceKrausman.com just launched, so there'll be information forthcoming on there as well about where the events are going to be held, what reading resources I recommend, any links between you and I, and whatever else goes on.
We want to be at every single event that you do, not always in the front row, sometimes in the back so we don't take up too much space. But Lisa, as we part, we want to support Bryce with what he's doing, because this happiness campaign is exactly where it's at. What's the final word?
I just want to give the viewers something for next week. Will Edwards will be here with the laser coaching moments, and please stay tuned for that. And
I want to thank Bryce for an exceptional conversation.
Thank you.
And this is to be continued. Even when we stop the podcast, we want to continue this because you got us excited about how we can help others with the happiness meter.
And let's not forget, it's all about how you leave them feeling.
At the end of the day, it is about how you leave them feeling. So thank you for tuning in. We've enjoyed speaking with you, and also next week is going to be another Bright show, and we're going to have Bryce Krausman back on here again, so be prepared. We're going to drag him into this studio anytime we can. Thank you so much for being part of the audience.